Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be talking about every mother's nightmare. Well, for me it was a big nightmare, and that is potty training. Well, first of all, if you've never potty trained a child before, potty training is very scary. I know it was for me because with Luajo, I didn't do any potty training at all. Everything was done at creche, and to start Marang with potty training, and then the teachers would actually follow my lead. Now I was like, why did I take her to creche in the first place? Because for me, one of the reasons that I took her to creche was for potty training. So anyway, these okay, the following signs are the signs that gave me the green light that Marang is actually ready for potty training. The first one is Marang didn't want a wet nappy. So whenever she did number one or number two, she would immediately tell me. So we call number two boo boo and number one pee pee, you know. And then as soon as she did her business, she would come to me and say, Mama pee pee or Mama boo boo, and immediately she would pull down her pants because we were already using um um pants instead of the normal nappies. And then the second one was, you know what, sometimes we would have a really tough day because she wouldn't want to put on her nappies. I would put on the nappy, and then she would actually pull it down, or she would just go somewhere and pull it down, and she would come running around without a nappy. So I was like, you know what, okay, let me just give it a try, maybe she is ready. So like I said before, that I didn't know anything about potty training. So I asked my friends, and they made it look and sound so easy, you know. So I was like, you know what, this is just too easy. I was like, I got this, you know. So I tried and I failed, and I did my research, and I came across this video that said just potty train your toddler in 3 days, and then you'll have them fully potty trained. I was like, oh goodness, this is what I actually needed. It means that if I start on Saturday, then it means by Monday she'll be fully potty trained, right? Wrong. That wasn't the case for me, and we ended up just being frustrated and just having to wipe like the whole house with you just had to wipe the whole house every time because she would pee just everywhere. So now, because it said like to put her on her potty every 20 minutes or so, and I did that religiously. Yes, religiously, and I did that, but trust me, I failed. You know, because I would put her on the on the potty because I knew that I wanted to see her pee routine, if I can call it that, or rather maybe a toilet routine, you know. So every time she made a pee, I would write down the time that she peed, you know, whether it was number one or number two. I just wrote everything down. And even on Sunday, it was still the very same thing. I wanted to see actually if the time that she peed yesterday to the time that she's going to pee again today, so that I could create a timetable for her. And guess what? That really worked, even though it wasn't as easy still, but at least there was progress, you know. There were times whereby she would pee in her potty, and then the other times, you know, she would just pee everywhere, but thankfully not on the mat, not on the carpet. Okay, so now with me doing that, I found it less frustrating and more enjoyable for Marang. So we kept on that. So we did that. And then to the point that I knew that 4 o'clock Marang would need to pee. So 4 o'clock we had to be in the house, so that I would get her from creche just 15 minutes before 4 o'clock. We got home, 4 o'clock we pee, and it was so consistent to the point that it clicked to Maran that, you know what, I need to go pee, without me having to remind her to pee. So we kept on that. We kept it because I realized that the first method that I was using, okay, it worked for whoever who came up with that idea. Maybe her kid was going like on the potty every 30 minutes, but for us, it didn't work like that. It was every hour, it was every hour. If Maran didn't have a lot of liquids, and roughly 45 minutes if she had a lot to drink. So with that, it kind of gave me an idea on what to do. So we were on that consistency. So with this potty training timetable, or the P timetable as I call it, it has worked beautifully for us, because most days now I don't even need to remind her to go to potty. Some days she just goes on her by herself, and then she just tells me, "Mommy, poo poo, mommy, pee pee," so that, and then I just go and empty the potty. So okay, we've had accidents, but not as much. The only time that accidents do happen is when she's playing and she forgets that she has to go pee. So since that we are off daytime nappies, I will only do one nappy at night. So because she hardly take any liquids before she goes to sleep, so actually in 2 weeks time I'm actually planning on taking her off the night nappies as well, and then I'll be done with buying nappies. So at the end of the day, find what works for you. Yes, do your research, but potty training, it doesn't have to be a nightmare anymore. So thank you so much for watching the video. Bye. Mwah.